In February, we brought together 9 schools in Porirua, and this was all supported by our Pakeke team, so I can't say that this was run by us. They actually organised this. Michelle, Amanda, Connor, Wairere, and probably so many more in the background, but they organised a Rangatahi wānanga in February before the assembly for all the rangatahi in Porirua to come together to discuss what climate change is and just like authentically hearing what they believe in. We didn't teach them anything. They came with all of their knowledge and they kind of just displayed it through creative outlets. So we had workshops, we had what do we have? Poems, so spoken word, we had waiata, and we had art. And from that one day of wānanga, we came together and we created a waiata, we created a collective t-shirt design, and we came up with a whole bunch of speeches and poems for the Climate Assembly. Do you have anything to add?
We have the mic.
Yeah.
Following the assembly, we've been like a real power role, you know. It has not stopped for us. We've kept going since then. I don't think we'll ever stop actually. Hey, there's mana in kind of rangatahi action, and I feel like it's important that we kind of empower that and make it happen. And I think, to me at least, fishingly, whatever it may look like for you guys, it truly means a lot to me and other rangatahi who are part of it. Anything else? Was that about? Yeah.
What it's such a huge story in itself,
Mhm.
what's happened. When I was thinking about how you came and shared with the broader assembly, because the vision that we'll hear about in a minute is kind of like a weaving of rivers, and there was like what you were able to generate together was woven in. Would you say about something about how what it was like to kind of bring that to the assembly?
I thought it was a really cool chance to show the assembly, which I was a part of, the kind of other side to it, the Rangatahi side to it, and come together in one room again, you know, actually showcase we are doing stuff with the Rangatahi, we are, you know, being involved, we're staying involved. We showed them our waiata, our t-shirts, you know, our poems. It was really cool to actually come to like a kind of an equal ground across us, you know, because oftentimes it is not easy for rangatahi to come into like adult spaces or it's adult, it's not equal at all. And so I feel by doing it the way we did, it made it a lot more equal and fair. Well, after day two, it was about 5 of us who stayed on the entire assembly, and through that we were able to give our whakaaro on everything going on. You know, throughout the entire assembly, we were told to group up randomly, so 1, 2, 3, 4 along the entire room. And through that, we'll be randomly assorted into different groups, and we could share our opinion, and they'll be heard. Depending on who you are, depending on how you feel. Hey, but and through that, they could be shown and kind of collected through these recommendations up here. So especially for rangatahi, te taio, and education, I feel that rangatahi voice was heard kind of the most, or you know, the most prominently. Um, but yeah, does that kind of answer your question? Just kind of actually being part of it. Yeah.
I was really struck by that first day. I'm sure it was nerve-wracking to come into that space. You were already there, Santino, but that feeling of like 20 Rangatahi were there in this massive space. But from the perspective of those ones in the assembly, before Rangatahi came in, the question was, how will we listen to them? And it was all about priming that room to be like, your role is to listen, they're leading. And then when you shared, and then we broke into small groups, the question for those ones again was, what did you hear? And then turning to the Rangatahi and say, is that right? And there was this real, is that what you're thinking of? This like real beautiful facilitation to encourage, like what Santino's saying about voices that often are the ones who are undervalued or crowded out, to be able to be leading on that second day.
The rangatahi aspect and taiohe and tamariki were also involved. Is both, you know, one of the things that's really been leading, but it's also one of the things that I think has got the most room for development and improvement. And as you say, really to weave it in and not, it was, you know, it was kind of a separate strain. Going to 15 was already pushing the envelope, but not far enough. I completely agree with you. The difficulty, and our beautiful friends up the back would be able to talk to this, is getting into schools, getting access to children, getting, you know, it was so much work was like, they're not, oh my God. It's like Michelle's got her blood pressure thing on because of the, it was really hard. And until, so I think like if in Porirua, because it's a small place, there might be a way that we can continue to try and get, the schools to be part of bringing rangatahi into these spaces as equals, because we do. One of my friends just very briefly said to me the other day, like, the young people are older than us because they know what's coming, like they've got more knowledge about what the future is. And so in a way, we are young and don't have the knowledge, and they are the ones who are like holding it all. So
intergenerational knowledge is so important. I'll just say that. It's the best way for young people to learn. I love learning from aunties, uncles, karaua, kuia, everyone. That's my favourite way of learning, and it's just through stories. I just love hearing the stories from back in the day. My whakapapa is actually to Samoa and to this whenua right here, Aotearoa. And so I love hearing about my experiences with my nan on my Samoan side and everything that she's experienced in Samoa. Those just add onto the layers that all of our young people have, and because we all come from diverse places and all of our homelands are actually affected by climate change no matter where we come from.